Hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Come on in the room and welcome to Vision Speak Live. I'm so glad you guys are here. So let me throw a banner up. Yay! Claps. So I'm Dr. Candace, as you all know, and thank you all so much for coming on in. Once you come in, comment, let us know that you can hear us okay, that you can see us okay, say what's up, let us know how you're doing. And this will be posted on YouTube later. So hello to all of our YouTube viewers and even our Facebook viewers who will watch this later. So glad you're here. It is appointed time. You're not here on accident. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. So I'm so pumped to have my sis, Gigi Simmons, in the building.
I'm so excited to be here. Excited.
Yes, welcome, sis.
So excited. It's going to be good, y'all. I hope y'all are ready.
It's going to be so good. And so I'll continue to say this. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed. I don't even know what number show this is, but the fact that we're still here is really God. And my prayer, which I know God's already in it, is that you are going to hear from heaven. You're going to hear what you need to be able to make the changes, Lord have mercy, that you need to make to be transformed, and then to be able to go and bless others. So grab a hold to this. Listen in, eliminate the distractions. Gigi and I already talked about that. We've done that ourselves, right? So we can truly share in what the Lord has given us about our topic on today. Yes. So again, welcome. Share this video. Say hello. I don't see any comments yet, but I know they're going to come. And so I'm just excited to be here and excited about what God's going to do as Gigi and I just talk. We just share. That's it. How you feeling, sis?
I'm so excited. We've been going back and forth about this topic now for what feels like a month. And man, it's almost like it's Christmas morning when you see the big red bow and you're like, today is the day.
Right.
And then you're like, but wait, when do I get to open it?
Right, I know that you took the words out. It's like you see it and it's like, okay, what move do I go to first? Like, I hand it to me. Do I run and go get it? It's like the excitement, and here we are. So I'm like, I feel the same way.
Yeah, now it's like, all right, ready, set, go. Okay.
Right. So I want to just let everybody know, like, Gigi, she's my sis. And what I love is that, we're at church together. Shout out to the Kingdom Center.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. We're at church together. And Gigi is amazing. She's amazing. And I have admired her. I'll say from afar, but then in this season, God has done this. And I love how he's done that, and it's not forced. Would you say the same, Gigi? It's just been, he's just brought us.
It's honestly been like what's the proper word? Like a beautiful transfusion. You're not missing anything. You didn't realize that you needed it, but now that you have it, you're like, I don't know how I made it this far without this part.
Right.
So it's been beautiful by far.
Yes. So I thank God for that. And I thank him for divine connection. So Gigi is my sis. And this rest topic, let me go ahead. We're talking about rest today. Like, are y'all even ready? That's what, and we're going to talk about rest. I'm laughing. So Gigi did a talk with our sis, Angie, who Angie is amazing. We both were on her podcast, and she's an amazing sis. And she was talking about rest, and I'm listening, and I'm just like, ouch and ooh, because I felt that thing, and I knew that's what God wanted me to hear. And to me, it was just a reminder to stay in that rest, and that it is a gift, to hold on to that. And because and I'll talk about this later, I got a revelation on rest about 3 years ago from almost an unlikely place, but I knew it was God, because God can use anyone.
Right.
can use any situation. And so just hearing you talk about it was just confirmation to say, yep, Kim, that was for you. And I need you to stay right there. I need you to stay right there. So I'm just talking. So I'm gonna go ahead and just Gigi, just about rest. I know you mentioned like you kind of how like you kind of have to how you like to start out in talking about rest. I would love for you to just flow like that.
So, okay. So normally I go into this huge big spiel, and honestly, we're just gonna dive right on in. So, like my sister said, my name is Gigi. I'm a mom of 3 little girls, all under the age of 8. I've been married for almost 8 years. We're about to celebrate our 8th wedding anniversary in March. I'm so excited.
Yay! Shout out to John and Gigi.
Listen, like,
Yes.
and so I'm going to be really honest with y'all. I'm still very young in the sense of this whole mom thing. Okay. I'm a military brat, and traveling, going, moving every 3 years, it became a part of my DNA. So I thought that that's how life was just supposed to go. You're supposed to always be on the go, all the go, on the go, on the go, hustle, 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 get there, do this, until about 18 months ago. And I sat down with my mentor and I was like, I'm burnt out. I don't know how, I mean, I'm the girl that always goes, goes, goes. I fill in the empty spaces when people don't get to show up or someone makes an excuse. I'm always if nobody can do it, G can. If nobody can figure it out, G can. But I want to start with these 3 things. And I pulled up my notes because the way that I worded them when I wrote in our notes, I was like, God, I don't think I've ever told myself that in this verbiage. So I know what I've just said sounds like a lot of people can relate. Like, yes, that is me, girl. I get it. But sis, I'm going to be real honest. I want you to forget everything I just said. Like, literally forget everything, because it is a lie. It's not truth. And it is not how you make it. Okay. And so I want you to do one thing. I want you to inhale all the worry from today, yesterday, last week, a month ago, all of 2020, 2019. I don't care if you're 50, 95, 18. Inhale every year of worry and hustle. And I want you to inhale it from your toes to your chest, hold it in your cheeks, exhale it so slow that you give yourself permission to sit in the truth that you are burnt out, that you have gone and gone and gone, that you literally have beat yourself to death, and you are physically holding on to every ounce of pain, every ounce of unrest, of worry, of anxiety. And then I want you to do this second thing. I want you to stop before you let yourself go down that rabbit hole of, but it's my fault that I'm burnt out. Stop. Be so selfish right now in this very, very moment. And I want you to think about everything and everybody, but for once, let everything and everybody go. Look at yourself and say, today, I am being self-full, not selfish anymore. But gee, what does that mean? Today is the day that you fill your cup first, and you let everybody and everything else wait until you have drank your whole cup of rest, of getting full, of nothing, if that's what you choose. And then I want you to stop making everything in your life fast-paced, rushed, and hurried. Why? Because if you actually stop and be intentional about what you're rushing and where you're trying to get to and how long you have until the next thing, you'll really understand that your whole life you have taken for granted the commandment of God to rest and honor the Sabbath. And so I'm gonna let y'all sit in that while we dive into this, okay? Because see, me and my sister, we've been talking about this for a month and a half, and like she was already uncomfortable when we talked the first time. And so now it's just going to get a little bit more uncomfortable. And it's going to get uncomfortable for a lot of reasons. So while y'all are sitting here pondering all those things, a quick synopsis, because that's what people want. You want it quick, you want it fast, you want the bullet points, and you're out the door. You are wasting your time getting to the next thing because you are wasting time on things that don't matter. And you are forgetting that time does have a limit. It does have an expiration date. The world, society has told us that it does not. And that is such a lie. If you are hustling and hustling and hustling, trying to get to the next thing, what did you remember from the last thing that you did?
Right.
What did you have for breakfast? What did you have for breakfast yesterday? What did you have for lunch yesterday? What time was your last meeting yesterday?
Right.
You don't remember because you were rushing to today.
Come on. Come on.
Today is going to come inevitably, whether you wake up or not. It still has to come for somebody. But you rushing doesn't make it come any faster. It kills the time that you are forgetting to honor. And so we're going to dive into this subject of rest because for the last 18 months, I have been on a journey, and it has been a really hard one for a military kid who is literally used to packing a bag on a Thursday to hit the road on a Friday, to be back home by Sunday, to go to school on Monday. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. But at 33, I can only remember the good parts, not the great parts.
Wow.
And that hurts because I've had a really great life as a military kid. I am the only child to my mom. She did 22 years in the military. And I always tell people, we served 22 years. We did, because my whole life was military. But my mom, she didn't get to enjoy all the memories that I had because while she worked and hustled, I did the vacations. That's not life. That's not living. That's choosing to do someone else's dream so someone else's dream can be met while yours sit on the back burner and die. And the real reality about rest is that in the Bible, it does not talk about how God hustled and how God perfected this and how God, no, he said it, he admired it, then he said it was good. But you also want to know what he did not do? Not one time did he complain about working because there was a time for work.
Come on, sis.
And he also said that on the Sabbath, on the seventh day, after he had done everything that his father asked of him, he sat down on the seventh day and in plain English, in a 4-letter word, he rest. And the crazy part is that not only did he command us 10 commandments, the main one that everyone says, oh, we got to keep the Sabbath holy. You're right, we do. But when did you honor the Sabbath? When was the last time you actually turned your phone off? When was the last time you actually logged out of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever else is out there? When was the last time you actually voluntarily did not leave your house because honoring the Sabbath was more important than going to dinner with your best friend, going to the movie, making sure you added one more appointment, one more house showing, one more client, one more. Guess what? If that client was meant for you today, tomorrow, 6 months, 5 years, that's still going to become your client. And yet we show up every day as like, but if I don't do it today, if I don't get to do this to-do list, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have time tomorrow. Guess what? I still woke up today with the same 24 hours that you did.
Come on.
The time clock did not take an hour from me because I decided to sleep in. It didn't. It didn't give you an extra hour because I decided to sleep in. The difference is that with your 24 hours, you decided that you wanted to burn them. I decided that I wanted to honor them. Those two things are not the same. So we're gonna go all the way there.
Right. So it's trust, G. It's trust, right? Because as you're speaking, I'm thinking about me. And like I said, I had this revelation on rest. There's another level. That's the word I'm looking for. There's another level to it. There's more learning. You know, I don't know everything. Yes, I got the revelation and it's being expanded. It's being
right.
Blowing your mind up emoji right now because God allowed this to happen. And so, and I told you that I'm gonna talk about me. I'm a planner. I can do. How many times have I shown my notebooks on social media? I got my, plans. I got my calendar. Come on now. I got
my bullets. I got my,
and I find value in that, right? I find some worth in that because I can do those things and quote unquote, I've made them happen. And it's like when we're resting in Him, there has to be trust there. So if I'm trying to do all the things, who am I trying to trust in? Who am I trusting in?
And it's funny that you say that because I had a conversation with a girl yesterday, and her verbatim words were, well, if I don't get it done, then who am I supposed to trust? And so I politely said, can I be honest with you, but a little raw? And she was like, I mean, yeah, you're like my mentor. So, and I said, okay, let me, I said, just, we friends right now. We're not business partners. We friends. Cause I want to take you to a new level of understanding business and life. They balance. They don't level each other out. They balance each other out. And she was like, okay. I said, but let me ask you this. So Jesus created everything in 6 days, and Jesus rested on the 7th day. Did you really think that your 7 days was better than Jesus' 6? And she said, but I'm not trying to say that I'm better than God. No. But what you're saying then is you have a trust issue.
Come on.
Because if you don't trust God with one more day that you don't need, what you're really saying is, okay, God, I mean, I'm gonna have a plan B just in case your plan A don't work out. And yet He was the author and finisher. There's nothing missing. Nothing missing. There's nothing more that you can do on the 7th day that He did not already accomplish in 6. So when you're trying to make up for time, the real reality and the real truth is you don't understand time management. You're not good with your skills in telling your time where to go rather than your time telling you where to go. And she was just like, oh, but yeah, it's hard. Yeah. Resting is not easy. And we've made it like, oh, well, I can rest when I die. No, boo, you actually start living when you die.
Come on.
Every day you wake up dying. You're just not dead. So why not rest so you can live another day?
Come on. So good.
So
good.
It's really like one of those, the world has made it seem like it's a double standard. Like, no, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But Jesus didn't ask me to bake a cake. He asked me to rest because He supplied all the needs on Friday for me to have a Sabbath. He wrote out the plan on what to do to honor the Sabbath.
Yes.
If you don't believe me, you can Google it. You can go to it's everywhere. What was considered a Sabbath? And shameless plug, I just finished reading this book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Listen.
In the chat, the ruthless, say it again.
The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
Please type that in the chat, you guys.
And honestly, like when we get this, I will make sure that I give Candace all of these little points that literally have shifted the game for me when it came to what does rest look like. Now, if you're a business owner, if you are a working parent, or if you're just a 9 to 5, like, hustle, hustle, hustle. I get it. You got mouths to feed. You got bills to pay. You have things to do. You are 100% right. And I am giving you every reason to validate those things. But what I'm not going to do is give you permission to point the finger when I decide to rest that you're tired. Because again, you have been given the same 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that if I was going to accomplish something in excellence, that I knew that I desired and I needed rest.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to rest, but when do you turn off your wants and make them a need?
So
like,
good.
I'm like I'm really not like a girly girl, but I'm a girly girl. Every week I'm getting my nails done. I go get my hair done. I get a pedicure. I make time for those things because they're important to me.
Yep, that's it.
I also make time to love my husband, to love my children, to run my business. Well, guess what? God made time to rest to show you how. It is dishonoring him when you decide not to rest.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Thank you. So, and I sent you, I think, a clip from Graham Cook, and he talks about that.
I was mind blown.
Listen, and I don't know if he says it in what I sent you, but anyway, Graham Cook, he has a whole spoken word album. That's what I call it. It's called The Practice of Rest. And he talks about that. And that's why I have up here the gift of rest, because really it is a gift that God has given us.
Absolutely.
It's just like me giving Gigi a gift and she don't want to take it. Like, the whole point of the gift is for you to receive it, but you have to open your hands up. I'm not going to force Gigi. I might try to, but if she don't want to open this gift, I can't make her take her hands and open up this gift. But we have to accept it. We have to accept it.
And I mean, and that goes with, like, it's Candace's birthday. Like, she just celebrated her big 40th birthday. And listen, do it, boo. But let me ask you this. On her birthday, she didn't wake up thinking, well, everybody should be bringing me a gift. Everybody should be prepared. It's my day. No. On your birthday, you wake up being real selfish. I don't care if nobody shows up. I'm going to put on the dress. I'm putting on the heels. I'm going to get my hair, my makeup done.
Ready.
We make it seem like rest is a curse. And the real truth is that the curse is when you don't know how to rest.
Come on now.
Because sometimes the blessing is actually found in the resting. Because God's not going to keep trying to throw a blessing at you he's not trying to hunt you down. If you're not running towards him, then he's going to be like, you know what? I'm ever present. So when you're tired of running, all you have to do is stop, turn around, and fall into me. And we do the opposite. We keep running. God, where you at? God, where you going? Stop.
Yes.
Look around.
Yes.
Like, and our pastors just said this, like, if I go to heaven, you're there. If I make my bed in hell, you're there. But when do I stop to understand that I had to stop somewhere to notice that you were there? But if you were adequately resting, you wouldn't have to find him.
Come on now.
Because it's when you decide to rest in him that he actually comes and says, hey, angels, I don't even need your sound today. I get to go sit with my daughter because she's made time for us.
Yes.
She's made time for me to come and sit and dine with her. And like,
so good.
I'm going to back up a conversation that no one is ever going to hear, because it was a conversation between me and my sister right here. And I was like, sis, I don't know what God is doing, but I'm uneasy. I don't know what's happening. But I want you to think about this, because now that we're having this conversation out loud in public, it makes perfect sense to me. So about a month and a half ago, I was invited to someone's house, and this person was past my expectation of the people who I thought I deserved to sit at the table with. And the Bible says that the Lord prepared a table for me in the presence of my enemies. And for the longest time, I always thought that verse was saying the only people sitting at the table were the enemies. But as I really began to think about the verse and the event that I was in of sitting at a table that the world system would have said I don't belong at, I realized that for the Last Supper, Jesus fed Judas. He fed Judas first while his other friends sat and watched the enemy get fed first. But it wasn't that they weren't going to get fed. But sometimes the blessing comes in the least expected tables that are uncomfortable.
Wow.
But they're not uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable when you get invited to them because you're really not sure what side of the table you're sitting on. Are you the enemy or are you the friend? But the real revelation that I got at looking at the table was it actually doesn't matter who's, like, if you're the enemy or the friend, it's really who's doing the serving. And if it's who's doing the serving, if God is always inviting you to a table with him, rest in it. He's never lost a battle. He's always shown up.
Always.
He's never not given you the tools to provide. Nothing has ever been missing in him. Nothing has been lacking in him. Nothing has been broken with him. So as long as he's doing the serving, you can rest in that.
So good.
And so I posted the other day, I want you to stop looking at the deck of cards that life has dealt you and actually rest in the hand that life has dealt you. And a lot of people messaged me and they were like, but what about the hand that dealt me? No, see, you read that wrong. Don't rest in the hand physical. Don't look at the physical cards that life dealt you. Rest in the hands that did the dealing. Because if Jesus is dealing out the cards, you're always going to hit jackpot.
Come on now. Preach, sis.
So like there's no question of, is this my turn? Is this my turn to win? You always get 21. He's the dealer.
Always.
So we have to rest in that. And like we get in this mentality of like, I gotta grind and I gotta hustle. Grace is sufficient.
Yes. Yes.
What you trying to grind and hustle for?
Yes.
His grace is sufficient.
Yeah.
To what end do you say, oh, you know what? Enough is enough. I can't today. I just can't today. Like everyone thought that meme was funny. Like, I don't want to adult today. That's true. I don't want to adult today. Yeah. Maybe that's the day that God is actually calling you to rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because every day, every week on Wednesday, when you just feel like not showing up to the office, what if that's the day that you're supposed to be having a Sabbath? What if that's the day that you're supposed to go to lunch without your phone and actually see the people that are in your community?
Yes.
Talk to the stranger who has the same cup of coffee every week at the same place, at the same location that you go to.
Yes.
You're missing some of the best blessings because you're doing this and you're trying to do this and you're writing in your planner here. And when did you pick up your eyes and look at the blessing of rest?
Come on now.
Everything that you need is in front of you, but everything that you want is already in you. You're not lacking anything. Like you literally have everything in you. And so kingdom rest, and like we were talking about this, it's grace over grind.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Grace over grind.
Yes.
If your grind makes you give up your grace, stop grinding.
Stop grinding. Stop.
If you have to hustle so much to where it kills you, stop.
Stop. So it doesn't.
How much money can you live off of? There's never. So I'm gonna get real righteous with y'all, because a lot of people, I know Jesus may not be everybody's cup of tea, but that's just who we are. So let me put it to you like this: Jay-Z and Beyonce, they worth a good $9 billion. Okay, she's still trying to figure out how she's making more. Y'all, what do you need with $9 billion? What can you not do with $9 billion? It's a mental game. It is a mental game. And I promise you, if you don't plug into that outlet of resources to rest, the game will kill you. You don't get 9 lives in the game. You got this one, this very one. That's what you've been given. It is your job to steward it well.
So good. That's good.
And the blessing is that when you got your booklet, it came with 1 command, well, 10, but the one that you have not honored the most is resting. Every giant in the Bible rested before the fight. What makes you any different? This world is your playground, literally, but you're the one getting played. Why? Everything that you need, you have it. You're not lacking anything. Nothing's broken. So how are we resting with grace over grind? I know, Candace, you can go on about this topic, grace over grind.
Yeah, listen, because that's a part of the revelation. So you all have heard me talk about grace over grind and kingdom driven entrepreneur. So shout out to Shay Bonds, because her book and Bible app plan and just the whole part of the kingdom driven entrepreneur movement is that revelation that we're not supposed to be grinding, and kind of what you're talking about earlier. And when we look throughout the word, Jesus didn't run to any villages. The crowds were running, right? People were running to bring people to him, but he was smooth. It doesn't say the word smooth, but Jesus was smooth. He was walking. He always had time to go aside. He had to. He went aside. He went up to the mountain. He prayed so he can rest in his Father, and also hear those instructions that his Father was giving him. Then he could go forward with ministry, but he had to take time out to rest in the Lord. But I'm going to read from Matthew 11, I believe, and we've heard this verse before. And what I love about it, Shay got this revelation when she was at a church, and they read it in the Message version. So y'all know about that Message version. Come on.
Life. It's life.
It is life, and it's about to get your life right now. So this is Matthew 11, 28 through 30 in the Message translation. So open your ears to hear this. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? To me, this is Jesus, right? Saying, come to me, come to him, get away with me. Whoo, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest.
A real rest.
A real rest. Because there's a distinction, right? Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Not how the world does it. Because like Gigi said, it's going to kill you. What is period, right?
Period.
And people who are watching, you're there. I mean, that's what Gigi is. Really, she's over here prophesying, but she's speaking to that. Amen. She's preaching all that. She's speaking directly to that. But it says, walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. And this is my line right here. This is the one that wrecked me. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. Unforced. I talked about that earlier. I can do this and do that. That's the spirit of manipulation. That is not of the Lord, right? Unforced. He's unforced. Rhythms of grace. He goes on to say, I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Ain't that good?
So, it's so good, because it's always that one line when he says, come away with me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just say come away, because then you're going to come away with them, everybody else, the baggage. No. Right. You come away with me.
Right.
I didn't ask you to pick up nothing extra.
But sis, but also, because I think about, we talk about self-care, right? Or, I'm gonna go on a vacay, but sometimes that ain't even the rest that you need, right? We think that getting away, like you said, we think getting away, okay, I can just leave my problems. I just need to go, like physically go somewhere. I'm gonna go to another country. I'm gonna go to, but who you taking with you?
Listen.
Get away with him. Yeah. Well, yeah, and amen. Yeah.
Listen, so so if you're going somewhere, and I like analogies because I'm a very what's the word? I'm a visual learner, but I'm a very creative learner. Like
Mhm.
I was a kid who in school I got in trouble for turning in my notes when the teacher would be like, I want y'all to take notes and turn them in. Well, mine had doodles all over the place. And I literally, like, I can't count how many times I got written up or sent to the office. And my principal finally got tired and was like, why are you being this way? Because that's how I learn. You tell me to write from left to right and bullet points, that's boring. If I draw a picture with my notes in it, I promise you I'm gonna ace the test. Because that's how I envisioned it when you said it to me. So I want to, and if I'm going to listen, just keep me on track.
You could,
So,
sis. You could.
so you said something like, it's really about like, who are you bringing with you? Because sometimes I get it. Sometimes resting, it does mean you need to physically get up and relocate. Whether even if that's not your, like, if it's in your house, if you're relocating from your office to maybe your downstairs office or your downstairs basement or going into your bedroom. I get it. Scenery means a lot. For a lot of people, especially if you're a creative, sceneries, they make or break your creative cycle. That's science. I have a science major. That's just science. Okay. Whatever you believe in, Google it. I mean, y'all, everybody goes to the University of Google it. Okay. But if you're traveling abroad, and I'm only talking like this for the simple fact that there's a lot of business owners that will come back and watch this or find this today, tomorrow, a year from now. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs in the making that are birthing new things and new dimensions. And let us do the hard work for you if you're watching this in the beginning stages of your business. Okay.
Come on.
I wish to God someone would have taught me how to rest 4.5 years ago before I started my business. Okay. And I say that because 18 months ago was the hardest time in my business, not because business wasn't great. I didn't know how to rest. I didn't know how to tell my team no. I didn't know how to like walk away. I didn't know how to honor the Sabbath. I was go, 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 because like I said in the beginning, I filled in the empty spaces when your mama was in the hospital, your daddy was in the hospital, your kid's sick, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? My life was still walking on eggshells. And so I'm going to get really vulnerable with y'all for a second, but I want you to go somewhere with me. I want you to really see what we're meaning when it's important who you take with you while you rest.
Come on.
Okay.
Cool.
So over the last 3 weeks, like in real time, over the last 21 days, my family has gone through a lot of hell, to what the world would have called hell. And I remember 4.5 years ago when I walked through the same turmoil. So 4.5 years ago, my husband was 20, he was 27. He was literally in ICU for congestive heart failure. We had 2 children under the age of 1. I'm gonna let that sink in. He was 27. We had 2 children under the age of 1. He was in ICU with congested heart failure. We had literally just gotten married less than 2 years prior. Granted, our families were here, but I'll never forget when I had to make phone calls because the doctor looked at me and said, ma'am, you might want to call your family because it doesn't look great. Come again, say what? No. So you can't be saying these words to me because this man has got to live. I have 2 children by him. If this marriage don't work, okay, but we got kids. Like, hold on, wait, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I'm just being real with y'all, okay? So let's fast forward 3 weeks ago. And I have to make sure that I don't break. So in our family, we had a close family member who was in the hospital for congested heart failure. Again, not my husband, thank God, but it was too close to home. And I remember my husband was like, babe, you okay? Like, you're not talking about it. You're not asking if everybody's okay. And it wasn't until day 4 of going through that week of uncertainty of what was. And with all things COVID happening, no one can go in the hospital. No one can be at the bedside. No one can ask all the hard questions that sometimes when you're the patient, you forget to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally looked back at my husband and I said, I'm sorry. I need to apologize because I should have asked more questions like, how is the family doing? Is everybody okay? But for me, I was triggered to go back to the painful memories of what that felt like, of not being able to get answers because I was nursing a baby, trying to run home to bring the baby home, go back to the hospital. But again, it's all about who you take on the journey with you, right? And literally in that moment, God allowed me to rest in my husband's arms because he had to see from my perspective what that pain really looks like. Because now he wasn't the patient. He was the client trying to make sure his patient didn't die. And so that's week 1. Okay. The second week, we get a God boltering phone call that a close family member had died. This family member is only 26 years old. No one knows how they died. Now, mind you, life is still happening over here. It's still uncertainty. Nobody has answers and questions. And now we're adding more pain onto that. I'm one person with 3 kids, a husband, a business, a da-da-da, a this. And the enemy was quick to say, just run into your office and hide. Just soak it all up. You'll be all right. Just go in your office, hide. Talk it out to yourself. Let me sound the alarm for you, Zion. Okay, let me sound the alarm loud and clear. If your hurry and your hustle forces you to seclude yourself in places that you cannot go and say, hey, before I become overwhelmed, before I become very anxious, and before anxiety turns into depression, turns into medication, turns into drugs, turns into alcohol, stop. It is not worth dying for. Okay? Not worth dying for. And let me just be even more honest with y'all. 2 hours before this call started, I got another phone call that my little cousin was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance because he couldn't breathe. His chest was hurting. He's only 20. When I tell you that life is going to always knock at your door if you don't rest, it will. But here is the most faithful truth of God. If you learn how to take a Sabbath Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, when Friday comes knocking at your door with hell as the responder, it's easy for you to say, I didn't invite you today, so I'm going to close this door back. And then you can go sit. And I want you to listen to this part because I learned this from my mom a couple years ago when a close friend of hers had weeks like this. And it was uncertainty and full of things. So when hell showed up today on Friday, I had 1 or 2 responses I could have done. I could have answered the door and told hell to dump it all on me. Give it to me. I'm here. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna answer all the things. I'm gonna be the problem solver. I'm gonna make sure that everybody has the answers to this, and this. Or I could have told hell, you know what? To hell with the hustle. I'm closing this door.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to turn around and I'm going to ask my Father, do I still have to show up to my assignment that you assigned to me? Because if I show up to my assignment, you said that you would take care of my house.
Come on.
And so tonight, my assignment was to come and show you how to rest. And I'm just a firm believer because I was obedient to what he assigned a month ago, that he knew a month ago that hell was going to show up today. And so because hell showed up today and I was obedient to the assignment, he's working it out for my good.
Yes, come on.
And I don't have to be anxious. I don't have to be worried. I don't have to be scared of, God, what's the answer?
Come on, sis.
Because his response is, do you trust me? Or the real answer is, will you rest in me?
Come on.
Okay, Daddy, I got you.
Come on. Yeah.
So where are you going? Because if you're not looking at your mountain as small stones, your strength will never move it. Because his strength is made perfect in your weakness.
Perfect. Yeah.
Guess what? So me and my husband have been going to the gym continuously, faithfully. And I've learned now why they say you need to have a rest day. Because when you rest after you've worked every muscle to the bone, guess what happens? Your muscles actually get to form and strengthen and become stronger and build. But if you keep going and show up to the gym 7 days a week, you're going to get muscle, but they're going to be damaged. They're going to be hurting. They're going to be broken, and ligaments are going to be torn and out of place. And you cannot ice an old wound. That's scar tissue. We don't do that. Scar tissue hurts more than the muscle.
Jesus.
I played collegiate sports through high school, college. I get it. We've been taught, no, go add 10 more pounds, add 15 more pounds, run the extra mile, do the extra laps. But as a pitcher playing softball, guess what? My coach never let me leave without taking an ice bath. And that is the most gruesome pain that any physical human being should ever have to sit in. But you want to know what that taught me? If I didn't allow my weapon to rest, it wasn't going to show up on the day of the game. It was going to be weak and brittle and broken. Yeah. It wasn't going to pitch 92 miles an hour.
Yes. So for those who are watching and that's your story, you see why there's a need to rest. If you're wondering, like, why am I burnt out? Why am I angry? Why am I short-tempered? I think that's the word I was looking for. Irritated, easily irritated.
Yeah.
You're not at rest.
At all.
You're not at rest. And I want to, we got some comments, sis. So I want to put up.
Okay.
Because this was perfect because of what you just said. First of all, Mama B, you know we love you, number one. Number two, she's just slaying it. You can hardly be effective in any area of your life if you're not rested.
So true.
I mean, hot mess.
Yeah, and you halfway performing and delegating things that are not supposed to be delegated because you're not resting well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I gotta shout out your hubby because as you were sharing the story, he was like, "Go ahead and share."
Oh,
he did so.
Oh well, I just make sure because I'm like, I don't know who's gonna come back and watch. Oh Jesus, I don't need to be in no trouble after this conversation.
He said you're good. John, we love you so much. And Alexis, thank you so much for watching, sis. We love you. And she's just what you share. It's important who you take with you while you rest.
It's important. I'm gonna tell y'all why that's really important in a second. Like, you have you ever gone? I mean, Candace, have you traveled internationally or where you've needed a passport?
I haven't yet, but I am this summer.
Come on, Father.
Come on, okay, somebody.
So because I said I was a military brat, I got to go. I got to live in Italy, and then I got to go to other countries while living there. So I used to think it was a joke when people were like, "Man, to get a passport, it's expensive." Where you vacation is expensive. Quality over quantity, always. But that is just with the people that you hang around, the people that you do life with. I'd rather you have 2 good friends rather than 20,000 who are messy, broken, not carrying you to the next level. So if you get a passport legally, every time you go from state to country, you get 2 stamps. If it's an illegal passport, you stuck somewhere and ain't nobody getting you out if you go by yourself. But if you take an illegal carry-on, you and your illegal carry-on are stuck, stranded, with no way out. But it says something when you make sure what you carry is heavy enough for you to handle. So you know when you get somewhere, I got all the tools, I can carry it, I can get from destination to destination, and I know that I'm verified and qualified for this stamp because they approved it when I came across borders. If you can't cross the border, don't carry it no more. That's not the company that you're supposed to be keeping. Like, if you can't keep the company that is carrying you to a new level, I highly suggest that you drop off your baggage. Go by yourself if you can't. If the baggage that you holding can't get across the border, it costs you nothing to leave it. It costs you everything to put it on the boat. I mean, David couldn't wear the armor that wasn't fitted for him. But you also have to be willing to speak about what's not yours. Because everybody will offer you something.
Come on.
If hustle ain't for you, you know what? Today is actually my Sabbath. I can't.
Yeah.
And like, I have a couple friends at church that know, no, y'all might not want to text her today because you're not going to get a response. Today is her Sabbath. Those are people you want to do life with because they honor your sacrifice. And honestly, I take that back. Let me retract that statement. It is not a sacrifice to rest. Your Sabbath is not a sacrifice. It's a command. Mm-hmm. Sacrifice ice cream. It'll be there tomorrow. Sacrifice the day. If you have to leave the house on your Sabbath and you're not supposed to leave the house, if they can't come to you, then they're not supposed to be a part of the party. Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yep.
I'm gonna throw this up what your hubby said. If you don't rest, God will make you rest. And that's for sure.
It's like point blank, period. Mm-hmm. And if I'm honest, you guys, since 2010, God has really been trying to get me to understand rest. In 2010, I had a softball injury. I broke my ankle. I had to have emergency surgery. I had never broken a bone in my life. Out of all the sports I've played, all the injuries I've had, never had to have a surgery or broken a bone. And no joke, one of our youth leaders then looked me dead in my face and she said, remember 2 weeks ago when I told you that the Lord said you need to slow down? Now he's making you sit down. Ooh. And I said, but I got things to do. She said, and you still don't get it. So let me petition the throne for some of you. What has God really been saying? I don't want you to do that. I want you to let that go. He's not saying that you can't ever have it back. But right now, he's asking you to give him something so he can actually give you something better. Small sacrifice, lifetime gain. It's 100% worth it for me.
Yes. 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 And and if 2020,
honey,
I know I know we're about out of time, but I just had to say that because what I'm grateful for is that no, I don't think I'm supposed to say that, but I'll say this. I'm supposed to say that for those who are watching and will watch this later, take inventory of 2020 and the lessons. Throw out the stuff you need to throw out. Hold on to the things you need to hold on. But that thing taught us the things that we need to trust, the person of God that we need to trust in. The whole world stopped.
Yeah.
The whole world paused. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we have like maybe 5 minutes left. I want to throw some things out here really quick from our notes that I feel like if I don't give you the statistics, and sometimes you have to hear the truth, that you may be like, oh, that's not for me, but I do know who that's for. For that person, whoever that person is today, tomorrow, 5 months, a year from now. On February 26th at 5:55 Eastern Standard Time of 2021, the statistics by the time you see this, if it's not in the next 30 days, will drastically be different. And I don't mean for the better, for the worse, if we don't begin to teach rest. So there's 4 statistics, okay? The first one, the millennial generation is the most anxious and depressed generation in history. Because we somehow have taught them that if they go, that it's okay. 2, if you are a social influence, social butterfly, social media guru, I want you to go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I want you to look up these hashtags and see how many times, what's the number for this hashtag? Hashtag no sleep, hashtag grind, hashtag hustle, hashtag overworked, underpaid, hashtag self-made. The number is disgusting. And I'm a part of the number because I used to put this in every single post that I did because I run a social media business. Guess what? Over the last 18 months, I have not used those hashtags, and it still grosses me out to know that I used to say those things. Third one, we are a generation who's lacking vision. We have the most mental health cases, and we have less creatives in this one generation than the last 5. The last thing, we are informationally obese, and yet we wait and we keep giving ourselves information instead of clearing out all the files of unnecessary shortcuts to retain wisdom. If we can find a shortcut, we go that way. If it can be easier and faster, we go that route instead of actually taking the time to do the work. So I wrote this in our notes last week because I heard it out of this book that I was reading. And our pastor said it this past Sunday, this past Wednesday. And I was like, dang, man, get out my notes. Literally. He said, if you have not picked up a book since you graduated high school, you are missing what you're supposed to be doing. So here's the truth. Hustle people can lead a people to hustle, but you cannot out hustle my rest. Because when you don't possess rest, you don't know how to teach it. So for every person that will watch this today, tomorrow, a year from now, if you want to know why we're talking about rest, is because I want you to go back to become a student again. But this time, become a student of learning to say no aggressively so you can say yes passionately.
So good.
And when you do, always remember that God did not command Jesus to rest. He entrusted him with knowing that his intimacy with his Father was more important, and it was more intentional because his presence was more necessary. So I'm so glad that I got to do this. It has been so fun. And
Thank you. Thank you. And my thank you is beyond this. I know you feel that. I just bless God for you. I thank him for you. I thank him for this time. I thank him for the revelation, the transformation that went forth. Those who are watching live, those, like you said, are watching a year from now, maybe 5 years from now, because this is life changing. You all heard throughout what you need to do and what you need to not do as well. So take heed. Take heed. This is one of those.
yeah, because now you're responsible. It's all off our hands. Now you're responsible.
Now you are responsible for what you heard. And it's going to show up. It has already shown up. As you have been listening, your spirit has been stirring, whether you realize it or not, it has. So, because I'm over here, I ain't said much because it's like this. And so I'm even being intentional about, okay, my move after I get off here.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. So yeah. I love you, Gigi. I
love you
so much. I thank God. Before we go, could you pray, please.
Yes. Oh, I would love to.
Yes.
Oh, God, I just thank you and I honor you. And God, just like anything else that I have done over the last 18 months, God, I ask that you would remove my name, remove my title, remove me out of the way. God, replace the complacency for urgency to rest. God, make us so uncomfortable with the hustle that rest becomes our solution. And God, when we find that place of rest, may we look toward the hill and actually fall in love with who you have made us to be in you. God, I love you. I thank you. I ask that for the person that's watching, that will listen, that as their life begins to unfold, that you remind them that resting is a command. It is a command because you were obedient to find the presence of your Father. So God, I ask that you would just bless us, keep us. God, I ask that you would just pour back into Candace everything that she has poured out to put all this into text. God, I ask that you would just allow her hands to be the toe post and the assignment that you've placed within them. Let her be so on fire and let her not be consumed with when and where and why. But God, let her be obedient to your yes and let her be obedient to your call. I ask all of these things in Jesus' name.
Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Love you. Thank you,
I love
everybody.
you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for locking in to this. Again, share this video. We love you so much. And we'll see you next time. We'll be back here. I'll be back with another Vision Speak Live the last Friday in March. And it's going to be the 26th, because what I love about February and March, the dates are the same. So it'll be Friday. That's how I remember March. But March 26th, 5 p.m. So join us right back here. Love you all and have a great night.
Bye, everybody.